Hey guys, Silver here, and the Sonic series is known for having a large cast of characters, with many fans advocating for their return or for them to be used more. Well, what if I told you that there's a Sonic character more underused and overlooked than Silver, Blaze, and even Marine? This is a Sonic character that is not only still a part of the current cast and is still alive, but they simultaneously have never appeared in another game ever again since their debut appearance. I'm talking about Gemerl the Robot from the third game in the Sonic Advance trilogy released in 2004. Gemerl was the main antagonist of this game and was created by Dr. Eggman to be an alternate and upgraded version of Emerald. For those of you who don't know, Emerald's from the 2003 fighting game Sonic Battle, and he comes from an ancient race of robots called Gizoids, which are extremely powerful and have the special ability of copying the data of their opponents and using their own moves and techniques. Emerald is actually considered a fan favorite, and people love this story in Sonic Battle and the sad but satisfying conclusion his story had in the game's ending. He even got featured in the first episode of Shadow Generations Dark Beginnings, where he has an awesome fight scene with Shadow due to Gerald discovering Emerald and keeping him on board the Ark for research purposes. Back to Gemerald, however, by the end of Sonic Advance 3, Gemerald betrays Eggman and uses the power of the 7 Chaos Emeralds to become Ultimate Gemerald, and he becomes so powerful that Super Sonic and Eggman have to team up to defeat him. Once he's defeated, however, Gemerald's parts are discovered by Cream and Vanilla, and he's later repaired and modified by Tails to no longer have Eggman's evil programming, and he's instead programmed to take care of Cream and guard her family. I really love Gemerald. He has an awesome design, even cooler than Emerald's in my opinion. I just think the black and yellow color scheme is so sick. And I also love the wholesome relationship he has with Cream. It's such a fun and unique dynamic having this powerful robot essentially be a babysitter for her. So where the heck has Gemerald been? Seriously though, it's just baffling to me that Gemerald is nowhere to be seen. In fact, you're lucky if this guy even makes cameo appearances and spin-offs. That's how little he's used. I guess the main reason we haven't seen Gemerald is because he's essentially a side character to Cream, who's already a character that hasn't appeared much recently, so he's a side character to a side character. I mean, Cream was missing in games like Sonic Forces and Team Sonic Racing, and she's a way more popular character than Gemerald, so if even she's being neglected, then you better believe Gemerald is nowhere to be found. Come to think of it, Vanilla has never appeared in a mainline 3D game either. My best guess as to why these two never appeared outside of their GBA games is because Sonic Team is just too lazy to create new 3D models for relatively obscure characters, only for them to just appear in the background of cutscenes for Shadow the Hedgehog or Sonic Generations, and to be fair, I can kinda understand why. I mean, the only reason why the other handheld-centered characters like Cream had more prominent roles is because she was made for Sonic Heroes, which was the next 3D mainline game, but Sonic Team just decided to introduce her earlier in Sonic Advance 2, and I wouldn't be surprised if the same was the case for Blaze in Sonic 06. If there are 3 Sonic games where I really believe Gemerald should have been featured in, however, there's Sonic Forces, Sonic Dream Team, and Sonic Racing Crossworlds. Dream Team and Crossworlds is pretty self-explanatory. Dream Team is literally a Sonic game where Cream is the main focus of the story, and this could have given Gemerald an opportunity to team up with Sonic and friends to save her. As for Crossworlds, it's a spin-off kart racer that features virtually everyone in the current Sonic cast, including Cream, so it would have not only been great fan service to include Gemerald as a deep cut racer, but it also makes sense lore-wise. Here's hoping Gemerald gets introduced as a free update racer like Tangled Whisper did. Speaking of Tangled Whisper, to give credit where credit is due, Gemerald has appeared in the IDW comics, which I really do appreciate as he's awesome in those comics. And very recently, by the time I was writing this video, he actually appeared in the Chaotix Case Files, which is this new Sonic podcast that they've been doing centered around the Chaotix, and he actually has a voice actor. Alejandro Sab is not only the new voice of Infinite, but he also voices Gemerald, and he sounds great. The menacing robot voice really fits Gemerald, and there's really no complaints here. As cool as these outside appearances are, however, I'm mainly talking about Gemerald being in the Sonic games. And when it comes to Sonic Forces, that would have been the perfect opportunity to bring him back, as this game brought back tons of other characters that were prominent during the 2000s era, like Omega, who hasn't appeared since Sonic 06 at the time, and the Chaotix that also have a pretty decent role in the game's story, which they didn't have since Shadow the Hedgehog. Also, you mean to tell me that Eggman has taken over the world and the Resistance has never thought not to recruit one of the most powerful robots in the franchise who's already on their side? Now, I guess you could argue that Cream wasn't in Sonic Forces either, but she honestly should have been. I get that they probably didn't want this child being involved in a war setting, and realistically, there's no way that Vanilla would allow Cream to fight in the Resistance, but I don't know, they could have featured some sort of subplot where Vanilla is captured by the Eggman Empire and Cream and Gemerl join the Resistance to save her. Or they could have used this as an opportunity to just have Gemerl be a part of the Resistance without Cream and give him a chance to just shine on his own. But hey, I guess we can just sit around and talk about what Sonic Forces could have been all day long. Overall, I think Gemerl is pretty cool, and if we ever get another mainline game or a spin-off game where Cream gets a relevant role again, I think they should totally add Gemerl into the mix. And also, just put him in Sonic Racing Crossroads as a free update character, please. Whenever we get that Sonic fighting game, Gemerl has no excuse not to be a playable character. But anyways, that's gonna be it for today. Thank you guys so much for watching, and let me know what you think of Gemerl.